Mild temperatures, overcast skies, and the wind blowing in at Wrigley Field today as we get you set for Cubs baseball. It's a Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. The Giants and the Cubs in the rubber game. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the Hyundai leadoff man. The Cubs in an interesting stretch, 10 home, 10 on the road, 10 more at home as we get into the meat of the schedule in September. So they wrap it up today. It's been an interesting homestand, to say the least. Let's take a look back last weekend against the Rockies on Sunday. Chris Volstad finally got his first win as a Chicago Cub and his first victory in 25 starts dating back to July of last year when he was with the Marlins. Then we move ahead to Tuesday as the Cubs lock in their shortstop.
Really happy to be here today to announce a 7-year extension for Starlin with an option for an 8th year. We're building a young core, and Starlin's right in the middle of that. So we're really excited about it. This is about him. It's certainly not about me, but this is a very good day for the Cubs. So, hey.
And we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America. Bob, great to be out here. This is a great view here from the Budweiser patio.
Oh, I got to get me one of those. I love it.
And we have to show them that in the
wow.
third inning. Hey! Let's get some runs. The 0-1. Cubs win! Soriano out into left center. A 3-run ninth. After the big win on Thursday over Milwaukee, a 6-4 win over the Giants. Cubs getting some help from their first baseman, Anthony Rizzo. At first, that ball was called in play. Later, the umpires would take a look at it. And upon video review, yep, it's a home run. The second for Rizzo of the month. Hi, John.
I'm not even sure he was invited into the Mets
No,
booth.
he just
walked in.
Just walked in. Why not?
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at that old ball game. Play ball.
Leadoff Man. Brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata at myhyundaichicago.com.
It is Stat Sunday today, and we honor Bill James, the godfather of sabermetrics. He created the Pythagorean theorem of baseball. Looks a little complicated, but it's really not. Essentially, about a team's Pythagorean winning percentage matching the team's run differential, and that possibly an indicator of the future record. A lot of teams' record is actually very near what their Pythagorean record is. There are a couple of teams, however, and we'll talk about those as we get into the ballgame today, that are a little bit different, and maybe some of the reasons why. The Leadoff Man is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata at myhyundaichicago.com.
Man. Brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata at myhyundaichicago.com.
We're wrapping up the Leadoff Man, getting you set for the first pitch. The Cubs trying to go 5-5 on this homestand before a long 10-game road trip. The Giants and Cubs are coming up on WGN. famous corner of Clark and Addison in Chicago. WGN Sports brings you Chicago Cubs baseball. Today, the Cubs wrap up a long 10-game homestand as they play host to the NL West leading Giants. And we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Great to have you with us. A holiday weekend version of Cubs baseball. We'll be with you tomorrow from Washington, D.C., but Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you here. Cubs wrapping up this homestand, and it's been a mixed bag, to say the least. 4-5 so far.
Yeah, a chance to split the homestand. A lot of good things happen, a lot of bad things happen. We're going to show you the numbers. The good things, Chris Volstad has picked up his first 2 victories in a long time. A big walk-off win in that slugfest in the final game against the Brewers, and Darwin Barney continues to play flawless defense, hoping to get Travis Wood off the snide today.
Yeah, and a chance for the Cubs today to win a series against the team leading the National League West by 4.5 games, and it'll be Travis Wood trying to get his first win of the second half.
And a big key for Travis Wood is to keep the ball in the ballpark. You see in his last 9 starts, he surrendered 15 home runs. The wind is blowing in here at Wrigley today. Hopefully that'll help the Cubs lefty.
Big year for Matt Cain. Huge contract extension, a perfect game, a start, and a win in the All-Star game.
All right, this guy is pretty good, Len. You talk about innings eaters, and usually those aren't premier pitchers, but Matt Cain is an inning eater, and he is one of the premier pitchers in the game.
So the Giants have won 5 of the first 6 in this season series, which will end today. Now down to the field, God Bless America, and our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise. Kindly remove your caps and join Gary Pressey at the Lowry organ as he honors America with God Bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please remain standing and join Jim Cornelison as he honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's fast gleaming, whose broad stripes
to you by Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Time to look at today's Mazda drive to victory, and what the Cubs need to do today is maximize their opportunities against Matt Cain. Doesn't give up a lot of hits, doesn't walk a lot of batters. Cubs really need to take advantage of every base runner today. Drive to victory brought to you by your local Chicagoland Mazda dealers. See your Chicagoland Mazda dealer for a test drive today at driveamazda.com.
It is just about 1:20 as Bob Albrecht reminding us what time we start here on Sundays in Wrigley Field. Nicely done. Let's get into the San Francisco Giants starting lineup. Only 81 home runs as a team, the fewest in the major leagues, yet they rank 8th in the National League in runs, and right now leading their division by 4.5 over the LA Dodgers. Former Cub Angel Pagan will start at Marco Scuderos at second. Pablo Sandoval struggling here lately. Buster Posey killing left-handed pitchers this year. Hunter Pence is in right. Joaquin Arias is at short. Former Cub Xavier Nady with a big-time debut yesterday with the Giants. Brett Pill is at first, and Matt Cain pitches.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively this afternoon behind Travis Wood. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Soriano, Jackson, and DeJesus once again left to right across the outfield. Valbuena, Castro, Barney, Rizzo third to first across the infield. Steve Clevenger getting the nod behind the plate today for left-hander Travis Wood.
Been a while since his last win. He's had some good starts, but has not won since the second half started. And a first pitch strike on Angel Pagan.
8 losses and a no decision in his last 9 starts, but as you mentioned, he pitched well enough to win in about 5 of those ball games.
Get the umpires for you. Dale Scott in his 27th full year in the big leagues. He's worked 3 World Series. He's back at the plate. Basner, Rackley, Iasonia around the bases. Pagan went for strike 2, 1-2. .75 degrees, an east breeze at 7 miles an hour. Very comfortable. Very similar to yesterday's conditions. Maybe a little bit warmer. Called strike 3. Good start for Travis Wood.
Well, a good first inning is very important for any pitcher, but especially a guy who's been struggling. You want to put a 0 on the board right away, get your team back into that dugout, get some confidence, get your legs underneath you. Hopefully Travis Wood will be able to get the next 2 outs quickly here in the first.
Now Marco Scudero, the second baseman. He's been with the Giants for a little over a month. Acquired from the Rockies in late July. He's at .398 in Giants wins, 170 in their losses since the trade. Mentioned it the other day, the Giants with their alternate Sunday uniforms. This is, I guess, kind of an homage to the uniforms you wore on the road with the SF crest on the left chest. And Scudero the other night in Houston, and they had the other main road jersey was San Francisco across the front. He went in to change his uniform in the middle of the game and put that one on instead. but it was too late as he ran back out to the field to go back and switch before the inning started. 3-2. Oops. It happens.
I think by very definition, uniform means everybody's the same. But apparently Marco did not get the memo.
Right. Struck well to center, but Brett Jackson's there to make the catch. 2 outs.
Today's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader.
Now Sandoval. A couple of switch hitters in the Giants lineup, both batting right-handed against the lefty Wood. The Giants like facing left-handed starters. They're 28-14 versus southpaws. That's the best winning percentage in baseball. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, they don't hit many home runs, but they find ways to score.
Sandoval hits about 20 points higher from the right side of the plate. However, a lot more aggressive. Very rarely takes a walk as a right-handed hitter.
Swing and a miss. That was an aggressive hack.
He very rarely takes a walk either side of the plate. This guy wants to swing that bat.
One of the ways the Giants make up for the lack of homers, but they hit a lot of triples. Third in the NL in hits in general as De Jesus drifts back to the warning track to make the catch, and that will end the inning. The Giants go down in order. The Cubs are coming up when we return. Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. After a couple of good days offensively, they could only muster a 2-run homer yesterday off Tim Lincecum. De Jesus, Valbuena, Rizzo, Soriano, Castro, and Clevenger, Jackson, Barney, and Wood, who actually homered in his last start.
Take a look at the Giants defensively. Nady in left, Pagan in center, Pence over in right field. It'll be Sandoval, Arias, Scudero, and Pill third to first across the infield today. Buster Posey, after a half a day off at first base yesterday, right back behind the dish today for right-hander Matt Cain. The good numbers across the board wherever you look for Matt Cain. The most impressive for me, this is his 7th full season in the major league. He's never missed a start because of an injury, and has only been skipped one time when a day off allowed everybody to get an extra day of rest.
Wow. De Jesus supplied all the offense for the Cubs yesterday with a 2-run homer off the starter and winner Tim Lincecum. One thing that has marked Matt Cain's career is a lack of run support that has not Been a huge problem for him this year, but it also does explain why he's only 4 games over 500. He's going to reach 1,500 innings when he gets the first 2 outs of the game, but a career 3.29 ERA.
As the usual 4-pitch mix: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. If he has all 4 working, he's very capable of putting zeros on the board all day long. He's proven that earlier this year with a perfect game.
That was on June 13th in San Francisco against the Astros. A 22nd perfect game in baseball history, and the first in the 130-year history of the Giants. Quite sure how David got a piece of that one. It might have hit him if he didn't make contact with the bat. Wow.
Hey, you talk about these alternate jerseys for the Giants, Len. I like the uniforms. I'm not crazy about the two-tone hat. I had to wear that hat. That orange bill is problematic for me.
Looking a little too Baltimore Oriole-like. Called strike 3. Not that that's bad, but I agree with you. I think I'd go with the black cap and the orange logo. That's nasty.
Boy, good tight curveball from Matt Cain. Yeah, some guys throw a big 12-6 loopy breaking ball. That one appeared to be off the outside corner to David DeJesus, who has as good an eye for the strike zone as any Cub hitter. He should know.
Well, if the pitchers get that pitch today, it's going to be a tough day to hit. And as Valbuena takes a strike. Not quite sure of the horse head look, but that jersey there in the middle, the jersey they wore at home the first series of last year after winning the World Series 2 seasons ago, as Cain will get Valbuena. Like for you to keep in touch, Len and Bob at Tribune.com. Do you like the orange bill or not? Yes or no? Send us an email. We're on Facebook and Twitter as well. Now I do like the 3-panel multicolor look of the Orioles, which is going back to what they used to wear in the 70s and 80s. That I like. It's interesting how uniforms come full circle. As Matt Cain barely breaks a sweat in the first inning.
On WGN America, know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high def channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool, so if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T UVerse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
One strike on Buster Posey. Back behind the plate today. Played first in game 2. He's 5 for 7 in the series. He has slugged .744 versus lefties. Only Ryan Braun at .866 has a higher slugging percentage against lefties. Yikes. Look at the RBIs and just 125 at bats for Posey. Did that hit the knob?
Well, it looked like where Buster Posey was looking, down near his hands. Initially, I thought it got him above the hands, up near the trademark of the bat as he tried to spin out of the way, but he was looking at the knob of the bat. We'll get another look here. Yeah, right off the knob.
Outside. That's an area. Let's check out that pitch again.
I mean, you're talking about an area probably the size of a 50-cent piece.
Jesus with the tumbling grab. Posey lines out. I was going to say Travis Wood with that fastball that missed just off the outside corner. It's an area Dale Swain has talked a lot about for his left-handed pitcher. Said he really needs to focus at times on his arm side. That would be outside to a righty, inside to a lefty. And he's worked more on the backdoor cutter this year. There's a pitch right there.
Yeah, and that's when he's had that pitch working and been able to spot it on that outside corner and not let it stray too far over the white part of the plate. He's been very effective.
And I think it's particularly instructive for a guy who's given up as many home runs as he has. And Dale talks all the time about his pitchers trying to limit the slugging percentage of the opponent. He's allowed 23 home runs on the year. And I would venture to guess a lot of them have come on pitches on the inside. As Castro on the dive can't get it. Pence is the first base runner of the day. Looking for the perfect place to entertain your best customers and guests? Why not bring them to the ballpark? The new Bean Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests and include food, beverage, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Now Joaquin Arias, the shortstop. Tough way to end a hitting streak. He pinch hit, went 0 for 1 yesterday, and poof. 9-gamer over. Arias broke his bat. So on email, generally everybody agrees with you on the two-tone hats, but on Twitter they love it.
Now, how would you ever explain something like that?
I think
age, demographic.
Well, yeah, that's an overgeneralization, but we just received a fax. They try to go around the horn, and they do. Somebody just wrote us a letter too, but it'll arrive on Tuesday. Baseball blog. It's Stats Sunday. I have a post on the Pythagorean theorem, which we'll talk about here in a second. The blog brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, nationwide agent serving the area for 33 years. Contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. I also have John Lovitz singing the stretch from yesterday as Alfonso Soriano leads off here in the second in a scoreless tie. There's a 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Bill James came up with a pretty straightforward concept, the Pythagorean theorem, and it measures a team's run differential against its actual won-loss record. And the thought is that the truer gauge of how good a team actually is or will be moving forward is the difference in runs scored and allowed, and not necessarily that team's winning percentage. So if your team is above 500 but being outscored on the season, then it's probably overachieving and could have an adjustment before the season's over, and it may not, as Hunter Pence comes over and will not have a play. Vice versa, if you're outscoring your opponents through 130 games, yet you're 5 or 6 games under 500, that probably means you're a little unlucky. And the reasons for the difference between the two records are debatable and lead to a lot of interesting conversations. That one up and in. And we're going to focus today, Bob, on two teams on either side of that. The interesting thing about the Pythagorean record is that every team in baseball going into action today is within 5 games, plus or minus, of their Pythagorean record, except for the Baltimore Orioles. So it's actually pretty instructive. Now, the Orioles are 14 games over 500, but they've been outscored by 40 runs. So they should be, according to their runs scored and allowed, 8 games under 500. Called strike 3 as Soriano's out. Okay, so now, partner, we try to figure out, okay, why are they in the playoff race when they've been outscored by 40 runs? Well, they don't lose close games.
And they play a lot of close games.
Yes, they lost yesterday in New York, but they are still 24-7 in one-run decisions, 46-19 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. They're 12-2 in extra innings. So they've been blown out a fair amount, but when it's a tight game, they win. Let's look at the other side of the ledger. And this actually isn't as bad as it was a few days ago, because the Cardinals recently lost 4 in a row and were outscored 32-1, which changed their Pythagorean record. Castro lifts in the air to right center, and it'll be Hunter Pence. So the Cardinals are good. I mean, they're very much in the thick of the race. They would be the second wild card team. But look at this. They've outscored their opponents by 97 runs. They actually should be 76-57. So maybe they've been a little unlucky.
You know, a lot of the new sabermetrics that we've tried to introduce our fans to this year, Len, ultimately come down to an element of luck. We talked about batting average, balls in play earlier this season. Occasionally guys hit into tough luck. The Pythagorean theorem with teams' one-loss record, trying to quantify luck, and I just don't know if there's ever a way to do that in this game. How do you know when the ball's going to take a bad hop? How do you know when the umpire's going to miss a call?
Well, I think that's why Stat Sunday is good, because it does sometimes come down to just because.
Just because.
2-1 on Steve Clevenger. And this one will get out of play. Well, some of the reasons stated for luck, or good luck or bad luck. A manager. Some people think that, okay, that means the Orioles have overachieved because Buck Showalter has managed his rear end off this year. Could be about their bullpen. Close games, you rely a lot on your setup and your closer. Left field, fair for Clevenger. That'll be a 2-out double. And the Cubs have their first hit. One thought is that good teams should win more blowout games, and sometimes bad teams eke out a few more close ones, which could skew the record. And then good or bad luck. I mean, if the Orioles go on and win the World Series, and let's say they're outscored by 200 runs, nobody in Baltimore will care.
No.
And that is altogether possible. But I will say this, there are some observers who say even if they make the playoffs, they do not like their chances to go very deep because of those numbers, that the teams who dominate in the run differential ultimately are the most talented rosters. So we will see. One strike on Brett Jackson. That's low. I talked to him today about his family. I said, you got any traders? Anyone rooting for the Giants? Since he's from the Bay Area, he said, my younger brother's having an issue this weekend.
I got to believe blood is thicker than McCovey Cove water, though. Come
I
on.
would think so.
Yeah.
Well, Brett himself grew up a Giants fan across the bay. Berkeley. Way out in front and pulled it foul.
Mazda drive to victory. We talked about trying to maximize every opportunity you get in the ball game against Matt Cain, even if it's a 2-out double. Tough to get that guy home, tough way to score runs, but you just don't know how many opportunities you're going to get against Matt Cain with runners in scoring position.
By the way, the Giants, according to Baseball Reference's Pythagorean theorem, 4 games better than what their record should be. And the Cubs are 3 games worse. Cain with the strikeout. We are scoreless after 2.
Bud Light Lime-A-Rita, the ready-to-drink margarita with a refreshing twist of Bud Light Lime. Got a feeling there's going to be a few Lime-A-Ritas consumed this afternoon. That's Kate Myers right there on the right of your screen. She's been working here at Wrigley Field this summer, and unfortunately she's going to be leaving Wrigley and the Cubs, pursuing other opportunities with the Phoenix Suns. We wish Kate the best in her new pursuits, and we're going to miss her around here because everybody else that works up there is really ugly.
No score as the Giants bat in the 3rd inning. Travis Wood has lost his last 8 decisions. His last 2 starts resulted in losses to Giovanni Gallardo, the ace of the Brewers. And of course, Travis gets Matt Cain today. Xavier Nady in his first at bat as a Giant had a 3-run double in the first inning yesterday to break that one wide open. According to Elias, Candy Maldonado, your former teammate, was the last Giant with 3 RBIs in his first Giants at bat. That was against Houston on April 8, 1986. Bases loaded tripled off Jeff Calhoun. Nady's going to stick with number 68 for the time being. Saw the quote on the Giants website. He said, I'm going to rock it for a little while. It's very Xavier Nady like. (3-2) on the way. Ball 4 for the leadoff walk. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how'd you like to have dinner with the Cubs' Matt Garza? Just go to any Chicagoland Walgreens and look for the keyword at the Pepsi Max display. Then mail in the keyword to WGN and you could be having dinner with Matt Garza from Pepsi Max, Walgreens, and WGN. Brett Pill, the first baseman. In the September call-up. Ball 1. 3rd time he's been with the Giants this year. He was on their opening day roster for the first time. And I'm told he's quite a pill.
Yes, he is. .285 hitter at AAA Fresno this year. 18 doubles, 11 homers, drove in 45 in 60 games.
Adam tweeted, Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Sr. rather told me those two-tone hats look great on the ground after he knocked Brenly into the middle of next week. There you go. Okay. You asked for it. Talking about your first home plate collision in the big leagues. That one smack foul. Home run distance, but a few feet left of the foul pole.
Yeah, it's funny. About 10 days ago, we were talking about, man, we haven't seen a collision at home plate all season long, and it seems like there's been 2 a game ever since. Every night you turn on the highlights, and catchers are getting knocked all over the place.
Lifted to right, and DeJesus will make the routine grab. Here comes Matt Cain, who on July 21st at Philadelphia hit his 6th career homer. It was off Cole Hamels in the 3rd inning. But then Hamels came back in the bottom half and homered off Cain. It was the first time in 10 years pitchers homered against one another in the same game. Darren Holmes of the Rockies and Kevin Millwood of the Braves. Bunts foul.
Cain has to try to get a sac bunt down on the first delivery from Travis Wood, but because he does handle the bat well and the Cubs were so aggressively charging on that bunt attempt, it wouldn't surprise me if they let Matt Cain swing away. They had Rizzo and Valbuena charging hard from the corners. Middle infielders were running to cover bases.
He does get the bunt down. Rizzo to Barney, safe. Foot off the bag. Should be an error on Rizzo on the throw. A sacrifice bunt and an error.
Just a little too lackadaisical. Had plenty of time. He knows he has plenty of time. Trying to avoid the runner going down that first baseline. Just Threw it wide. Darwin Barney could not keep the toe on the bag. Yeah, easy to say after the fact, but the right thing to do on that play is take an extra step further into fair territory. That way you clear that runner, you go ahead and make a firm throw to the second baseman covering the bag, no issues.
So 2 on for Pagan with only 1 out. Struck out looking to start the game and takes that pitch off the plate inside. Two and 0. We just referenced the Orioles. Mark Reynolds with 2 home runs today, and the Orioles have a 5-3 lead over the Yankees in the 6th in a huge game. The Yankees with a 3-game lead. That's a rubber match of that series. And a base hit into shallow left. Nady coming around third. Little bobble by Soriano, so there will be no throw to the plate. And the Giants grab a 1-0 lead.
This is one case you wish that ball would have been hit just a little bit harder. Little soft line drive out into left field. That ball nearly checked up when it hit in the grass out there, forcing Soriano to go to his backhand side. Couldn't come up with it cleanly. I don't believe they would have had a play on Nady anyway. He had a real good read right there. Broke almost immediately from second base.
Only the Nationals have a higher winning percentage among all teams when they score first. The Giants are 52-16 when they get the game's first run. Outside.
Well, a real test early here for Travis Wood. Usually what happens when the bottom of the order starts the inning and gets on base, and then you roll around to the top and then eventually get to those run producers in the middle of the lineup. This is a big inning in the game for Travis Wood.
One and two. Foul. That's a foul ball. Unfortunately, as Valbuena appeared to have an easy 5-3 double play chance.
Hey, Cubs fans, if you want to manage a game along with Dale Swaim, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
By the way, we got an email. One of the reasons the Orioles are outperforming their Pythagorean record is the 2- or 3-tone hats.
There you go.
Perfect. Another 1-2 to Scutaro. This one hit foul off to the right. After today, the Orioles will go to Toronto for 3 and then host the Yankees next weekend in a 4-game series. That will be the final series between those two teams. Previous to this year, Bob, you just said, well, if you're the Yankees, we'd love to win the division, but if we win the wild card, we're fine. Well, it's all changed now. There's a lot of incentive to win a division and not get a wild card, because one game you could be done.
Boy, anything can happen in one ball game. We've seen it all the time. A matchup on paper that you would say is heavily tilted in one direction or the other, but maybe the pitcher doesn't have his best stuff that particular day. A couple of broken bat hits drop in. Next thing you know, a team that you felt was capable of winning a World Series is at home watching.
Scudero keeps hanging in there at 1-2.
Pitches across the upper half of the strike zone, both inside and outside to Marco Scudero. And the count 1-2. He's definitely in swing mode right here. You want to bounce a breaking ball, bounce a changeup. A lot of hitters, when they get to 2 strikes, make up their mind that they're going to swing at everything, whether it's close to the strike zone or not. Try to put the ball in play with 2 strikes and take your chances. Occasionally, you can get those guys to chase horrible pitches. Bouncing breaking balls, fastballs up over their head.
That was pitch number 11 in the sequence.
A really good 2-strike hitter, 247. A really good number with 2 strikes, 5 home runs, 32 runs driven in.
Popped up as he slams his bat down. Infield fly rule here in effect as Barney makes a catch. 2 outs, 1-0 Giants. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Sandoval fly to the warning track in right back in the first inning. Still more conversations about his weight. I think that's just going to be something that's going to be talked about and Bruce Bochy will be asked about as long as Sandoval's in the big leagues. And a base hit. Regardless of what he weighs, he can hit. Matt Cain scores and it's 2-0. Couple of RBI singles in the inning, and remember the error by Anthony Rizzo, and the Giants taking advantage.
Cutter off the plate inside, but Sandoval sees it the whole way, just muscles it out there into left field. Very similar to the base hit that Angel Pagan had earlier in the inning. Soft liner in front of Soriano, but just not hit hard enough to make a play on the runner scoring from second base.
Posey hit a rope to right. He hit it right at DeJesus in the second. On the outside corner. Two perfectly placed pitches to start the sequence.
Yeah, one right on top of the other, right at the outside corner, just above the knees. It's that low slugging percentage fastball right there we were talking about earlier in the game. Almost identical locations.
The thing about this inning, the one at bat that may not stand out at all is the Scudero infield pop-up. But it was a 12 pitch at bat. Don't think that hasn't had an effect on Travis Wood. Into right, base hit. De Jesus will have to throw towards second as Pagan is in, and it's 3-0.
I think we can all agree Buster Posey's a pretty good hitter, and he's a smart hitter. That was the same fastball that he took for called strike one, called strike two. Travis Wood tried to lead him out of the zone a little bit with a fastball farther outside, then came right back to that fastball on the corner, and Posey was all over it. His second rope line drive of the game. The first one was caught. This one drops for an RBI base hit.
Spazio out to the mound. Cubs made another roster move today. They have added right-hander Miguel Sokolovich from AAA Iowa, recalled. Nowhere number 47. He was claimed off waivers from the Orioles on August 23rd. International League midseason All-Star, 3 stints with the Orioles earlier this year. So he's in the bullpen. There's the newest Cub. Cubs have already used 48 players this year and 27 pitchers. That's a single season club record. Most they had used previously, 25 pitchers in 1999. That's deep. Jackson going after it, and he's got it on the move to end the inning. That would have played it a couple of more. As it is, they get 3.
is hit out into the alleyway. A long run for Blanco, and Blanco's going to dive, and he makes the catch! One ball and 2 strikes. On the ground, Arias from deep third, got him! And that's a perfect game!
Matt Cain with his 14 strikeout perfect game against the Astros earlier this season, June 13th. Anything's possible player brought to you by the Illinois Lottery, who each day make anything possible.
And the great Dwayne Kuiper on the call on Giants television. Here's the 0-1 to Darwin Barney, fouled back. 3-0. The Giants have the lead. Well, you hate to see Matt Cain get what Tim Lincecum got yesterday. That's early run support. One and two. Cain has been lights out against the Cubs in his career. This is his 13th career outing. In 9 of his first 12, he's allowed 1 earned run or none. Oh, he can't make the play, and Barney is safe at first. It's a base hit. Maybe that'll get Darwin going with the bat. Didn't hit it hard, but it's a hit.
Cain very upset with himself. Normally a pretty solid defender out there on the mound. Goes over to make the backhanded play and just whiffed on it. We've seen him make a couple of nice plays already out on the mound today. 2 grounders back to the mound in the first inning, but unable to handle the third one.
We'll see if Travis Wood's going to be asked to bunt. Sandoval way in at third, and Wood does square. Well, I bet you Dale Swayman at least considered having him swing away. He's actually had some good swings, including this one on Tuesday, our AT&T U-verse replay. He's now homered in each of his first 3 big league seasons. See what's possible with AT&T U-verse. High-speed internet, AT&T. Rethink possible.
Might have been the best at bat by a Cub hitter in that game against Giovanni Gallardo. He was really good against the Cubs in that outing.
Two and 0. Good bunt. He's out 3-4. And here's DeJesus. Blackhawks Day here at the ballpark, and great to see the great Pat Foley stop by to just say hi. Forgot to ask him what his handicap is.
No, I bet it's getting down there.
Yeah. Several Blackhawks will sing the 7th inning stretch, and we'll chat with Patrick Sharp. Base hit right field. Barney will score, and David DeJesus keeps on hitting. It's 3-1.
Kind of an uncomfortable first at bat in the ball game for David, ultimately taking a called strike 3 on a borderline pitch at best. Doesn't let it get to it in this at bat, however. Finds a pitch to his liking from the middle of the plate in. Rips it into right field for an RBI base hit.
in there for a strike on Valbuena. Quickly 0-2. Rizzo on deck. His throwing error cost Travis Wood 2 unearned runs in the top of this inning. Foul tip, strike 3.
Hey, Chicagoland viewers, if you want to wear what the Cubs are wearing, then text Addison to 88019 right now for your chance to win an authentic game-worn jersey from the Cubs. And be sure to go to Cubs.com/authentics for more authentic Cubs memorabilia.
So here's Rizzo, who grounded out his first time. De Jesus at first, 2 outs, a run in, swing and a miss. Wind blowing straight in from center at the moment. Dale Swaim talked about the conditions here at Wrigley Field and how it affects his lineups and bullpen maneuvers. And he said it's honestly difficult to set your lineup based on the batting practice weather conditions because it can change. Whatever you see it doing at 10:30, 11 a.m. on a Sunday like this, it can change by 1:30, 2 o'clock. Says it does play into his strategy during the game a little bit with the wind conditions. He may be less aggressive with the base running if the wind's blowing straight out at 15 miles an hour, and more aggressive when it's blowing in.
And not to mention the fact that some hitters are more fly ball hitters, and you probably want those guys in the lineup with the wind blowing out. Other guys are more line drive ground ball style hitters, and when the wind's blowing in, they figure to have better success.
It's James Rowson, the Cubs hitting coach. The kick and the 3-1. A little late on the fastball, 3-2. Hill playing behind De Jesus, who takes off on the 3-2, and it's inside, ball 4. So here's what our informal poll says so far. So on Twitter, they like the multicolor with the different bill. That makes sense, actually.
See, I don't like either one of them with the squatchy on top. You got to remove that little button on top of the baseball cap. I know it's integral to the construction of the hat itself, but once the hat is put together, I always take that button off the top. If you've ever had a smart aleck friend that would come up and whack you on top of the head, drives that button right down into your scalp. That does not feel good. And I'm sure there's a legitimate name for that little button on top of the hat, but our buddy in the Giants booth next door, Mike Krukow, dubbed it a squatchy, so that's what I've called it ever since. Yeah. And back in the day, you used to be able to go behind the plate with just the cloth hat underneath your mask, and you definitely wanted to remove the squatchy if that was the case.
Did Mike ever call it a button?
Not to the best of my knowledge. Okay. That's way too simple. You got to come up with your own lingo for everything. Matt Cain still got his squatchy on.
One and two to Soriano. The pitch. Trying to get him to bite on a slider, and he did not. 2-2.
You notice Buster Posey applied the tag before asking for the appeal to the first base umpire. Just in case.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a curveball to end the inning. The Cubs get one. 3-1 they trail. For the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Captain Morgan. Raise your glass always in moderation to life, love, and loot. The Chicago Blackhawks will conduct the stretch. We look forward to that. Arias, who grounded into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play in the second, takes a strike from Travis Wood. 3-1 Giants here in the fourth. Blown outside. Rainbow to right, and it's to Jesus. Congratulations to Katie Specken and Matt Baer, who got married yesterday. To the best of our knowledge, they still are married. We saw a wedding on a rooftop.
Yeah.
During batting practice.
We've seen a lot of things happen on the rooftop, but this was a full-blown wedding ceremony.
Nady with a leadoff walk and a run in the third as he takes a strike on a curveball.
There you go. That was earlier this afternoon during batting practice. Fortunately for the wedding party, the wind was blowing in.
1-2. Brett Pill on deck. The wind and the pitch. Fastball up and away. Congratulations. Base hit into center. Bring up Hill, the first baseman, hitting 8th today.
We'll send a big shout out today, Len, to Greg Collins here at the game today from Legend Picks in Davenport, Iowa. Dropped off a couple of Cubs logo guitar picks for us to use.
A couple?
Couple.
A couple hundred.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep. I feel like we're in really tall cotton here. He makes guitar picks for Styx and Ted Nugent, Ace Frehley, Rush, Kiss, Dave Mason, Buddy Guy. I mean, geez.
Awesome.
Pretty good company. I've come to discover it's not just the pick, however. You have to actually know what to do with the pick.
That helps. Line shot, foul. Nationals lead the Cardinals 1-0 on a Kurt Suzuki home run. They're in the 6th today. Cardinals with a 10-9 win yesterday after scoring 1 run over their previous 4. We'll be in the nation's capital tomorrow on Labor Day here on WGN. We'll hit the air at noon. Jeff Samardzija and left-hander Ross Detweiler. Phillies and Braves will play later. Cole Hamels and former Cub Paul Maholm. Phillies with a 5-1 win yesterday. Braves struggling. They've lost 3 in a row and 10 of 14. They are still in the wild card lead, however. Travis Woods had a real tough time putting away hitters today.
Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Cubs game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub.
Into center, Brett Jackson really battling the bright sky as he makes a catch.
This is a play that goes all the way back to the first week of spring training in Mesa, Arizona, when Dave McKay set up that pitching machine, firing fly balls into that bright Arizona sky. Had the outfielders working on going to their left, their right, looking up into the bright sunshine, learning how to use the glasses and the glove and the bare hand to shield their eyes. That time Jackson had a good angle on the ball, had to go down nearly to a knee to make the catch, though, at the very end.
Matt Cain gets a hold of one to deep left. Soriano back. He makes a catch. Did he catch it? He did. The ball's in his glove. Cain gave it a ride, and Soriano with a nice grab. So good going back on balls toward the wall. Well, it doesn't feel too good to ram into the brick wall. Yeah, you hit the ivy, but it doesn't provide a whole lot of padding. But prior to this year, I don't think Soriano makes that catch. He has been so good going back toward the wall, and his teammates love him. Travis Wood certainly appreciated it. So Starlin Castro will lead off the bottom of the fourth. Castro, Clevenger, Jackson. Golfed into the air as Pagan retires Castro. Hey, before today's game, Connor Cummings, age 11, from Glen Ellen, Illinois, threw out today's first pitch. He was a lucky winner of our Pick Your Pitch promotion provided by Pepsi Max, Dominic's, and WGN. Nice going, Connor.
Nice going, Connor. Nice little cutter in there. Ran it right in on the hands of that right-handed hitter.
Steve Clevenger fouls off. Giselle Hernandez tweeting, what should the Brewers' Pythagorean record be? Well, according to Baseball Reference, the Brewers, who are 64 and 68, should be 68 and 64. So they're -4. In terms of luck, if they were 68 and 64, as Pill will take this one unassisted. They'd be on the outer edges of the wild card race, and I think in the Brewers' case, I would say their bullpen has been a part of that.
Bullpen and injuries. We talked about Alex Gonzalez, their fine shortstop, being on the shelf, and Jonathan Lucroy missing for 50 games. Two big parts of that ball club, both offensively and defensively.
We've talked about some of the young kids, and while numbers certainly matter, you look at other things, how they handle adversity. If they slow the game down in the right spots, and I guess speed it up in the right spots. And I think Brett Jackson has really aced all the eye tests. There's nothing he does on the field, Bob, where he looks uncomfortable or without poise. I mean, he just kind of looks like he belongs, doesn't he?
Well, and especially during the course of this homestand, some minor mechanical changes to his approach at the plate. I think that gave him more confidence and the ability to wait a little bit longer on pitches. And by being able to do that, he's taking more base on balls. He's being much more selective at the pitches he swings at. He's really come a long way just in this homestand. But you're right. He doesn't appear to be intimidated or scared or afraid to make mistakes. He's just playing the ball game.
That's a good way to put it. And again, his routes in center have not always been the most direct, but he gets there. No panic. Swing and a miss, strike three. So Kane goes 1-2-3. Giants lead the rubber match 3-1 after 4.
Bank, member FDIC.
Giants 3, Cubs 1. Top 3 in the San Francisco lineup: Pagan, Scutaro, and Sandoval. They got 3 in the third. The Cubs answered with 1. Got an email from Leslie Bloom. Leslie actually directed this question to you. I'll help if you want my help. If not, you don't.
The help.
You don't need it. Bob, please explain the Pythagorean theorem when it comes to the Pittsburgh Pirates being outscored by the New York Yankees 55-27 and out-hit 101-60 in the 1960 World Series. That is a great question.
Yeah, that was a series where the Pirates won all the low-scoring close games, and the Yankees blew out the Pirates in all their wins.
The answer is that the Pirates should not have won that series, according to the run differential. What a play by Valbuena, and he got him by a step, and we know Pagan can run. Louis with a great play. Might have hurt his shoulder in the process.
Just fully extended, diving to his left, and that's where you can't protect yourself. When you have that left arm extended out there like that, landed a little bit awkwardly, but quickly gets to his feet and makes that strong throw in time to get the speedy Angel Pagan.
So 1 out, and it brings up Scutaro. Leslie, we have just decided, and I don't think Pirate fans would want to hear this, but the Yankees have now won the 1960 World Series. They have changed the result. On a small sample size, you are going to get head-scratching run differentials like that. The great thing about baseball is over the course of 6 months, generally, your runs scored and runs allowed are going to match up with what your record is. Foul tip. 1-2. Another chance for Valbuena. This one not quite as difficult, although that ball was hit hard. 2 outs.
Take a look at our Ford upcoming Cubs schedule. Tomorrow in the nation's capital will be a 12 o'clock start locally. That'll be on WGN Sports. And a couple of night games starting at 6 o'clock here Chicago time. Ford manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford stores or online at localfordstores.com.
Fouled off by Sandoval. The 1-run record is also interesting, and in the National League a lot of the best teams have the best records in 1-run games, but in the American League, while Baltimore is 24-7 in 1-run decisions, the Indians are 16-8. They're 21 under 500 overall. So while you say, well, good teams win 1-run games, in the case of the Indians, bad teams do too. Second hit for Sandoval. The Yankees in first place in their division. They're 17-19 in games decided by 1 run. One other question about the Houston Astros. They're 41-92, and the question is, should they be even worse? And the answer is no. According to their Pythagorean record, they should be 46-87. So they've played 5 games worse than what the runs scored and allowed would say. So how about that? Not only are you 41-92, but you're unlucky on top of it.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
It's September 2nd, and they're 1 week plus of bad baseball away from 100 losses.
Wow.
Maybe they won't miss the National League after all. They're going to get a fresh start over in the American League West next season.
No, they're going to have to be better on the road. That's really been the downfall of the Houston Astros this season. 13-53 on the road. I mean, that old formula that baseball people used to use. You play 500 on the road, win series at home, and at the end of the season, you should be at the top of your division.
Posey gets under one. Jackson the catch, and the Giants done in the 5th. Bottom 5 coming up, 3-1 Giants. Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank, member FDIC. Giants 3, Cubs 1. Now we're getting emails that says a cat button is called a squatcho.
Squatcho.
Squatcho, yeah. You heard squatchy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you should just stick with what you know. Whatever you call it, you call it.
It's a headache-inducing button on top of the hat that is totally unnecessary once the cap is assembled.
When Sasquatch is found or located, did he have a button on his cap? Is that part of the deal?
Yeah, he might. Maybe that's why he's so angry and hiding all the time. Somebody whacked him on top of the head, and the squatcho or squatchy really upset him.
On the ground and into center, and Barney's 2 out of 2.
Glad for the 2 knocks in the ball game, but much happier with the second one than the first one. The first one a little topper out in front of the pitcher's mound that Matt Cain just whiffed on. This one a clean ringing single into center field.
Well, last time Wood bunted into second. And then DeJesus knocked him in. Travis Wood from Arkansas, Matt Cain from Tennessee. Posey was ready to fire to first, but Pill had pinched in. There was nobody covering the bag.
Now, some teams will have a designated pickoff play in a situation like this. You see Pill evacuates first base rather early there. And the design pickoff play involves the second baseman breaking early, as Posey will throw on to first for the out. But yeah, on the pickoff play, the first baseman leaves early, trying to bait the runner into taking a bigger lead, and the second baseman sneaks in behind and takes a throw from the catcher.
So DeJesus again with that runner in scoring position, able to get it done in the third inning. Sunday night game tonight. What a matchup. White Sox and Tigers. Chris Sale against Justin Verlander, and the White Sox are trying to avoid the sweep. Detroit now within one after winning the first two games of that series. Max Scherzer last night got his 15th win. Oh, 2. Cain 3-0 over his last 4 outings. Trying to get his 14th win of the year. He's 12-0 this year when his team gives him 3 runs. He got those 3 in the third inning. Base hit into right. Barney held this time, but Pence dropped it. Should be an error on Hunter Pence as Pat Listash had put up the stop sign. It's 3-2.
Pence has had an adventurous series out there in right field against the Cubs. He's made most of the plays in a very unorthodox manner, but this time that ball hops up, hits him in the midsection. Barney had been held at third and then waved on in. No RBI for David DeJesus, but the Cubs creep a run closer.
And a check on the runner. So it has been, to this point, a near carbon copy of the third.
Now this is where we needed to change.
Yeah, they didn't add any more after DeJesus knocked in Barney the first time.
Now Valbuena struck out. Anthony Rizzo drew a base on balls, and then Alfonso Soriano struck out to end the inning.
Ball 2. I'll send out happy 12th birthday wishes to a big Cub fan in Deerfield, Illinois, Grant Primer.
Well, you see those 2 little footprints right there in foul territory. Talk about players being creatures of habit. How about first base coaches? Dave McKay stands in the same spot.
Well, we were just talking about Bigfoot sightings. That's usually how it happens.
I mean, we see it in the outfield where the defenders usually stand, but I don't recall ever seeing a first base coach leaving footprints. Right back to the same spot every time.
I call that a medium foot sighting.
One thing you learn very quickly as a first base coach, as far as your positioning over there with the runner at first, is to get out of the way of pickoff attempts. If Dave McKay were standing maybe 2 or 3 steps farther down the right field line, he would be in line on an errant pickoff throw that gets by Brett Pill. It could possibly hit him. So he stands almost even with the baseline. That way, if there is an errant pickoff throw, there will be nobody in the background. It'll roll all the way over to the tarp.
De Jesus took off. Valbuena fouled.
Well, there you can see a throw from the mound. If it gets away from the Giants' first baseman, Dave McKay is far enough out of the line of fire that he shouldn't get hit by an errant pickoff attempt.
There goes De Jesus again. Ball 4. Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. This year, Budweiser will donate $5,000 for every Cubs walk-off win to Folds of Honor. Find them at Facebook.com/Budweiser to see how you can help support our nation's soldiers and veterans. Veteran Giants pitching coach Dave Righetti out to the mound. Also want to send out happy 35th birthday wishes to Mandy McLaughlin, box office employee for the Peoria Chiefs. So 2 on for Rizzo. Talked about Kane's season, the perfect game. He started and won the All-Star game. Just before the season began, he signed a 6-year, $127.5 million contract, the largest ever for a right-handed pitcher. Two bouncer. They'll get the out at second. No relay throw. First and third, 2 gone. And it's Soriano who has struck out both times. When I first saw that note, I was really surprised, but then I thought about all the big long-term contracts for pitchers, and yeah, they had all been left-handed. CC Sabathia, you go back to Mike Hampton's long-term deal about a decade ago with the Rockies. Barry Zito. Soriano crushes this ball to deep left center. Out of here. A 3-run homer. And just like that, the Cubs lead.
Doubter, 93-mile-per-hour fastball that just spun up there on the inside part of the plate on a tee for Alfonso Soriano. No doubt about it. Even with the wind blowing straight in, that one gets halfway up the bleachers in deep left center field.
25th of the year. 4th time he's hit 25 as a Cub. He's the 10th player in Cubs history with at least 4 25-homer seasons. 365th of his career, and possibly he just picked up his 3rd game-winning RBI in the last 4 days. But there's still a long way to go. Cubs lead by 2. 9 RBIs on the homestand now. That's the 20th though allowed by Matt Cain. He gave up 9 last year. Castro grounds out. Let's get Cain's reaction when he knew Soriano had just given his team the lead.
The Cubs, Wellington Castillo, been one of the hottest hitting catchers in baseball since the 1st of August, carrying that .306 average. Also hit 3 home runs, driven in 10. Yadier Molina at the top of that list. But Wellington Castillo having himself a real nice finish to the season here. Xfinity Home offers state-of-the-art features that help you stay connected to your home and family anytime and anywhere. Of course, Molina and Buster Posey at the top of that list for Giants offense. Since August 1st, Ryan Hannigan, John Buck also on the list. Wellington Castillo 5th among catchers.
Big hand for Soriano from the regulars in the bleachers out at left after the 3-run homer, and the Cubs lead 5-3. So Travis Wood facing Hunter Pence. A 1-1 pitch, busted bat fly ball, shallow left, caught by Soriano for the out.
I just can't help but think when Hunter Pence was a little kid and walked into a store, things started to fall off shelves as he walked past. And people dropped things in front and behind him. He's just a train wreck, but man, he plays the game hard. Had some adventures in right field in this series, including that error in the last inning.
Yeah, in the hands of Arias, who fouled it back. Well, let's see if Wood now can get his first win of the second half after 8 straight losses. Oh, 2 would be his first victory since July 6th, which was his 4th straight win. Came in New York. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the high fastball. Know a newborn Cubs fan? The Newborn Fan Club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee. A Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more information and to sign up today. Nady has walked, singled, and scored. Second game as a Giant. Brought up from the minor leagues when the rosters expanded. Wow, we got an email from Sean Jordan in Greenwood, Indiana. Said, I just saw Matt Cain's reaction into the Soriano homer. He obviously knew when Soriano made contact it was gone. But do pitchers know when the ball is released that it might be a problem? Probably not enough time to react, right?
Yeah, I imagine the ball's going to be at least on its way to the plate before they come to the realization that they've made a horrible mistake, and they just hope the hitter either swings through it or fouls it off. But there are times as a catcher you can see that ball on its way to the plate, and you know that something bad is going to happen just because of a horrible location.
Nady with an opposite field extra base hit. That's all the way in the corner. It'll be a double. That keeps the inning alive for Pill.
It's unusual to see Xavier Nady get a hit to the opposite field, but picks on that high fastball and tomahawks it right down the right field line. We've talked about it throughout this series. Xavier Nady, and we know it from his days as a Cub, wants to pull the ball in the air to left field, but he'll take that double down in the right field corner.
So it's up to the bullpen the rest of the way. It's like Manny Corpus is coming on. 5-3 Cubs in the sixth. Comes on with a runner at second. That's Nady at the bottom of your screen. And now Brandon Belt will hit for Brett Pill. Apparently to be in the Giants lineup or come off the bench. Your surname has to be exactly 4 letters. And with that in mind, Aubrey Huff on deck for Matt Cain. One ball, one strike. James Russell and Sean Camp are available today. They were not available yesterday. Two and one. Belt hitting .417 against righties over his last 27 games. The slider strike 2-2.
Brandon Belt, a guy that's just dominated at the minor league level offensively everywhere he's played. We saw him in spring training the last couple of years, was one of the best players in the Cactus League, but just can't seem to consistently string together the kind of at bats to get the same results that he was able to get in the minor leagues. They call him the Giraffe. You know, I get the feeling when the Giants come to town, they stay at the Lincoln Park Zoo. They've got the Panda at third base. They call Matt Cain the Horse. They call this guy the Giraffe. I'm sure there are other animal-related nicknames in that first base dugout.
No, don't throw it back.
That's what you're supposed to do with a ball.
Right.
The kids have the right idea.
In the air to left. Soriano drifting back. Warning track, can't get it. Nady in. Belt's going to try for 3. The throw there a little late. A pinch hit RBI triple to make it 5-4.
That ball struck well by Brandon Belt. The combination of the side rotation on that high fly ball and the wind blowing in from center field just continued to push it farther away from Alfonso Soriano. Looked like he had a beat on it a couple of different times, but the ball just kept working toward that foul line in the left field corner. Just comes up a little bit short. Cubs got the ball back into the infield. Looked like they might have had a play on Brandon Belt at third base, but Luis Valbuena was several steps off the bag when he took the relay throw from Starlin Castro.
Brings up the forgotten man, Aubrey Huff. It's been a tough year for him. 3 separate stints on the DL. He was reinstated yesterday after missing 29 games with a right knee sprain. Can't even say he's been good when healthy. Hitting .148 in 34 games. But a veteran hitter with a good eye at the plate. Big part of their championship a couple of years ago. And a 2-1 count.
Well, the numbers weren't great a year ago today, but has really fallen off the planet this season.
Hit .290 in 2010, 26 homers, an .891 OPS, won a World Series ring, and wore some kind of rally thong in the process.
That's a picture I'm trying to forget. You go back to that World Series team and Aubrey Huff and Pat Burrell, a couple of crusty old veterans that kind of led them to the promised land. Corpus looking up in the bright afternoon sky, didn't quite know where that pop-up was.
Belt at third. He's a tying run. The 2-2 pitch gets away, and we're tied as Clevenger has no idea where the ball is. And just like that, with one wild pitch, Travis Wood can't get the win.
A slider down and into the left-handed hitting Aubrey Huff, and just a backhand reach across by Steve Clevenger. Not much of an effort to block the ball with a runner at third base in a one-run game. Hit off the heel of his glove.
Deep right, playable. It's to Jesus, and the inning is over, but they strike with 2 outs. A double, a triple, a wild pitch, and we're tied. Series with X-Drive is here. Visit your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW Center today to test drive one. Big blast of go-ahead 3-run homer by Soriano, but the Giants quickly erased that deficit as Belt came off the bench with an RBI triple, and then the wild pitch allowed him to score the tying run. Jose Mijares is on. Two strikes on Clevenger.
Saw Mijares for a third of an inning in yesterday's ball game. Can't say I recall much of it because that's when John Lovitz was in the booth.
Yeah, he was claimed off waivers from the Royals on August 6th on 2 hops. Right to Arias. 1 away. Comes Brett Jackson. Well, Chris Volstad got past his long winless streak. Finally got his first win as a Cub, and as you mentioned, in the Open, 2 wins on this homestand. But now all of a sudden it's Travis Wood. He'll get a no decision today, so his losing streak stays at 8. Wood charged with 4 runs, 2 earned, and 5 2/3. Matt Cain, 5 innings, 5 runs, all earned. One of the best performances the Cubs offense has ever had against him. George Contos, Chicago area native, on the left, and the left-hander on the right is Jeremy Affeldt. Just foul. Called strike 3. Brett knew it. 2 outs.
Loopy, slurvy breaking ball all over the plate that time. 3rd strikeout in the game for Brett Jackson. First one looking.
Two hits for Barney. Both times he's come around to score. In the air, left center. Nady to end the inning. A quick 1-2-3 off to the 7th, and a 5-5 deadlock.
Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. That's our Bud Fan Cam, brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Left-hander James Russell to start the 7th in a 5-5 tie. Rubber game today. Giants trying to maintain their 4.5 game lead in the National League West over their arch rivals, the Dodgers.
One, two, three, 7th inning for James Russell on Friday night against the Giants. Friday afternoon, rather. Struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced.
Brett Jackson coming in hard, and he dives, and he's got it. Ball started to knuckle and nose dive, and he had to leave his feet, but he got it.
Straight in. That's always the toughest play, to make a diving catch. Former Cub Marlon Byrd was really good at that particular play. Brett Jackson with a great diving catch coming straight in of his own.
Scutaro, strike 1. He's 0 for 3. Dodgers hosting the Diamondbacks today. Wade Miley pitching for AZ. Chris Capuano for LA. 1-1. Dave Bolin, Jamal Mayers, Patrick Sharp, Tony Esposito, a Hall of Famer. Going over the scouting report.
That's right.
Three and 1 on Scutaro. Sandoval on deck. Now it's full 3 and 2. 2012, 2013 Blackhawks pocket schedules were handed out to fans at the gates today here on Blackhawks Day. Darwin Barney, lots of time, 2 outs. Of course, yesterday he was here with a Sharks hat and a Cubs jersey. A little confused.
Well, as long as you root for somebody, I guess.
That's right. Sandoval 2 for 3. Both hits have been singles and at the knees for a strike. Oakland with 2 early runs again against the Red Sox. Well, the A's red hot, 7-1. The final yesterday. A's have won 8 in a row. Beat Boston 20-2 on Friday. A's have already won more games this year than all of last year. Swing and a miss. Stretch time.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former and current members of the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right, fans, let me hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out.
2, 1, 2, mic check.
And the Giants and Cubs in a 5-5 tie. I don't know if we go to overtime or extra innings in baseball, if they'll take a player off the field like they do in hockey. But great to have with us Blackhawks forward Patrick Sharp. Good to see you here.
Hey, good to see you. Thanks for having me back.
Jamal Mayers, Dave Boland, and Tony Owen. There's a great Pat Foley. Couldn't get him to sing today, huh?
Oh, we were trying. We were trying to drag him in here, but he wouldn't have anything to do with it.
So a 5-5 tie, and Dave Sapelt will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot to face Jeremy Affeldt. And this is Sapelt's Cubs debut. Made his major league debut with the Reds last year. And you get the numbers for the Giants left-hander. And fouled off. How's your summer going, Patrick?
It's going good. It's always nice to be back in Chicago and gearing up for another hockey season. The body's all healed up and tuned up, ready to rock. So excited to get started.
Now, Patrick, how long does it take you after a season's over until you start to feel somewhat normal again? Lots of bumps and bruises, and how long does it take until you feel like you're back to normal?
Yeah, it's funny. It takes a while. You know, it seems like during the season you feel normal, but once you get a few days or weeks off, you start to feel bumps and bruises from a hit you might have took in February or January. But usually with the off season, you get ready to rock.
Just outside, throw out the ceremonial first pitch today, and you had a little help, or a little helper.
I did. Special thanks to the Cubs, the Cubs and the Hawks for allowing us to do that kind of stuff. You know, it's a big thrill to come out here.
Pence will make the grab for the out.
I live just down the street, so we're huge Cubs fans, and I had my daughter Madeline with me, so I didn't know what to do with her, so I plopped her down in front of the. She's like sitting and she likes playing with the grass, so I figured that's a good spot for her. And then, you know, the pitch was a little high, but I wanted to make sure I didn't come anywhere near her, so it turned out good.
Did you dress her this morning, Patrick?
I didn't. My wife picked out an outfit there, and it looks like a Cubs uniform, but it actually says Chubs. She's got a little body fat on her, so she's a little chubby.
Here's to Jesus with one out. Certainly, we hope the NHL season starts on time, and I know Cub fans today and Blackhawks fans got the pocket schedule as they walked into the ballpark at the Blackhawks convention. Now rocking and rolling every summer, and that has become extremely popular, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, you know, for players too, to get back in the middle of the summer and see each other, catch up, and talk about how things are going. And you know, as far as the labor situation, I think that's common in today's professional sports. It's a frustrating side of the game, but we're preparing and we're getting ready to go on September 15th, just like the entire league should be.
2 strikes on to Jesus, a 5-5 tie. We're in the 7th. Huge crowd here today on this holiday weekend. And as David went around, I believe, we got a break. So Dan Isonia made that call. Looked up here like he may have gone. That is low. All right, as you were saying.
There you go. You know, she's probably working at about a 15 to 20% body fat there, which is a little high in the off season, but the hockey season is coming around. She'll whip herself into shape and she'll be looking good. So.
Very nice. Swing and a miss, 2 down.
Well, for children that age, Patrick, and I'm sure your daughter's no different than any other kid, that they need the padding. They bump, they fall, you know. They need a little extra.
That's right. Not Madeline, though. She's a princess. She doesn't really like to move around too much. She prefers to get carried around and tell mom and dad where to put her down. So it's just been great having her in the house and coming home every day to a great family.
There's Val Bueno with 2 outs. Well, the LA Kings, I mean, really a great example of get in the tournament, right? Home ice advantage is always important, but the main thing is just to be alive when the playoffs start.
That's right. And, you know, I don't think there's any question that they were the top team in the playoffs this season. January, February, March, if anyone would have picked the Kings to win the Cup, you'd have been crazy. But the way our sport is there's so much parity, and whoever's healthy, whoever's playing well at the right time's got a chance to win. And that's what's exciting about being in Chicago, is that we had such a well-balanced lineup. We had great players all throughout it, that if we get that opportunity to just hit our stride at the right time, we'll be making noise as well.
As you look back now on the Stanley Cup run and then the aftermath and falling short, what was the big difference for you guys, and what do you need to do this year?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Stanley Cup, boy, it was the toughest thing ever to do. Everywhere I go, people expect the Hawks to win it every year now, and I don't think you realize the kind of work and all the good fortunate bounces you have to go through to win a championship. And you know, that's not an excuse by any means. We want to win it every year, but I think you look at our lineup from top to bottom, it's I'll put it up with anyone in the NHL. It's just a matter of going out there, executing, and getting hot at the right time.
And trying to stay healthy, which is not easy to do, because in your sport you're supposed to play 100% all the time. You're worn out every day, but you want to go as deep as you possibly can. So as you get older, do you learn to conserve your energy? That's got to be a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I'm going to try that one next year. You know, if I'm not playing too well and Joel Quenneville gives me a hard time, I'll just say, listen, Joel, I'm conserving my energy out there. It's an 82-game season, but I don't really think we have that luxury in our sport.
Right.
Obviously, there's things to do away from the rink and off the ice to prepare and stay healthy. But anytime you step on the ice, you got to go full tilt. Otherwise, you're putting yourself and other people at risk of injury.
Yeah, that's a great point. You really have to save it when you're off the ice. Well, great to see you as always, Patrick. We look forward to a great Blackhawks season coming up and here on WGN. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Patrick. It's been a roller coaster ride today. Giants led early. Cubs then took the lead. Brandon Belt with a pinch hit RBI triple. He would score the tying run on a wild pitch. The big home run today, Soriano, 3-run shot, number 365 of his career. Visit your local Chicagoland Honda dealer today and test drive a 2012 Honda Accord. Sean Camp for the 69th time. One strike on Buster Posey, who's hit rockets all over Wrigley Field all weekend. Even when he's made outs, you feel like he's just missed. One and two. Fights off that slider. We talked about Posey's future defensively, whether it will be behind the plate, a combination of catcher first base, or if he'll just drop the catcher's gear altogether. Boy, the offensive value, though, that you get from him as a catcher is just off the charts.
And the big question any organization has to answer is, will he be able to maintain that kind of offensive production if he remains behind the plate and the wear and tear that position has on the body? That's a man that knows about wear and tear on a catcher, Bruce Bochy. One of the better backup catchers in the game during his playing days. Played behind Terry Kennedy and Benito Santiago down in San Diego.
Along with the Astros, Mets, and the Padres. This is Jackson as he went back. Now the wind blowing everything back toward the infield. Tickets are available for the remainder of the 2012 Cubs season, including the next homestand against the division rival Pirates. Reds and Cardinals beginning Friday, September 14th. Here at Wrigley Field. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. That's going to be a tough homestand. 3 teams all trying to get into the playoffs. Outside to Pence. Well, against Milwaukee the other day, it felt like the last at bat would be pretty important. Wind blown out. The conditions certainly supported run scoring. Cubs would win 12-11 as they got 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth. Little different today with the wind blowing straight in, even though we've seen 10 runs combined. 1-2. Wind's going to push this one out of Rizzo's reach and actually about 8 rows up behind the tarp.
Probably blowing considerably harder now than it was when we got underway here earlier this afternoon. Well, we've seen this kind of wind at Wrigley before, and we know that balls hit on a line, especially toward that well area in left and right field, still have a chance to get out.
This backhanded play on the short hop by Castro to get Pence.
We're talking to Patrick Sharp about the bumps and bruises and how long it takes to feel better after a season's over. I bet Sean Camp's just going to stick his arm in a deep freeze until about Thanksgiving. 69th appearance of the season, and usually he's a guy that will go an inning per appearance. He's just under that pace right now. He's been given a couple of days off as we've gotten deeper into the season here, but never refuses the baseball.
One and one to Arias. Some finals. Chris Young beat Mark Burley. Mets 5, Marlins 1. Jason Bay with a grand slam as the Mets get the sweep. Burley dropped at 12 and 12. Nationals with a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th against the Cardinals in D.C. will be in Washington tomorrow here on WGN. Reds just erased a 3-0 deficit, 5 runs in the 8th, leading at Houston 5-3. Jay Bruce with his 29th home run. Jeff Samardzija, Ross Detweiler, straight up noon tomorrow Central Time from Nationals Park, first of a 4-game series. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Russell went 1-2-3 in the 7th. Camp does the same here in the 8th. Still tied.
Season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cubs out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
5-5 in the 8th. Here's Anthony Rizzo. Quiet day at the plate, 0 for 2 with a walk. He has scored a run. Remember, he didn't get a start earlier on this homestand. He's come back with 3 consecutive 2-hit games going into today. Affeldt with a 1-2-3 7th as Rizzo bounces that one off his foot. Ball is flying out of Miller Park in Milwaukee. 12-8 Brewers. They go for the sweep over the Pirates. Home runs today. Garrett Jones, Gabby Sanchez, Mike McHenry for the Pirates. Ricky Weeks, Ryan Braun, Carlos Gomez, Jeff Bianchi, and Giovanni Gallardo for the Brewers. To first, where Belt would take it unassisted. Will be a devastating sweep for the Pirates if they don't come back late. Bruce Bochy's going to make a double switch. We see Brandon Crawford coming in. Santiago Casilla, a right-hander, will face Alfonso Soriano when we come back. Nissan drive of the game. Alfonso Soriano with a go-ahead 3-run shot off Matt Cain. Back in a 4-run fifth. Get to your Nissan dealer for special offers. Nissan innovation that excites. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Brandon Crawford comes in. He's going to hit 9th. He's at short. And Santiago Casilla, the new Giants pitcher. Nice backhanded play on the short hop by Sandoval. Very similar to the Castro play in the last half inning.
Now, even though that's a hard hit ball, you just smother it on the short hop, turn it into an easy play. As you get a look at Casilla's numbers on the season, he was the closer for the Giants, but then blew 5 of 9 save chances from mid-June to mid-July and lost his closer's role with this ball club. He leads the team with 24 saves, rather, 10th in the National League with 24 saves, but hasn't had a save chance in his last 15 outings.
.95 in there for a strike. And Castro. Big win for the Orioles, 8-3 over the Yankees. So they take 2 of 3 in that series, 2 games back in the American League East. Cubs closer Carlos Marmol is up. Mark Reynolds in that series had 2 two-homer games. Randy Wolf came on in relief for the injured Chris Tillman and got the win in his Orioles debut. What a difference a week makes for Randy Wolf, huh? Yeah. We were in Milwaukee when he got released. Had the highest earned run average in the National League. Brewers weren't going anywhere. Hooks on with the Orioles, and now he's playing with possibly a postseason club.
He was designated for assignment on his birthday while we were in Milwaukee. Man, tough day.
Did that hit him? It did. Castro is on with 2 outs.
Tailing fastball up and in. Castro always ready to commit to the pitch. Has to give way at the last instant. Just a grazing blow off that left forearm. Posey out to have a word with his right-hander. Buster Posey behind the plate has thrown out 26 of 104 attempted base stealers this year. That's 25% on the season. Teams tend to run more on the Giants, not so much because Buster Posey behind the plate, but they have a lot of pitchers that are very slow with their delivery to the plate.
Strike on the inside. 1-1 on Cubs catcher Steve Clevenger. Giants trying to do it this year without their closer Brian Wilson. I think he made just 1 appearance before Tommy John surgery. And here for the final 45 games of the year without their left fielder Melky Cabrera, suspended due to the positive drug test. Two games, 1 save for Brian Wilson before he went down with the elbow injury. Chopper to Scudero, who will flip to Crawford, and that's it. Still tied as we head to the 9th.
Outfielders, David DeJesus with a nice tumbling catch on a sinking line drive. Brett Jackson running 1 down, taking away extra bases in the gap in right center. Soriano into the vines to take away a base hit. Luis Valbuena with a diving stop and throw, and then Brett Jackson for good measure, a diving play coming straight in.
Carlos Marmol will try to save the tie. give the Cubs a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth as he'll face his former teammate Xavier Nady. On Twitter, good question. Can Nady be on the Giants playoff roster since he wasn't on their roster prior to September 1st? The answer is yes. All you have to do is be in an organization prior to September 1st. And you can find your way onto the postseason roster if needed. He certainly has made an impression at the big 3-run double in his first at bat yesterday. Has walked, singled, doubled, and scored 2 runs here in the finale. Three and 0. The thing with the expanded rosters here, you know, Bruce Bochy's considered a pinch runner if Nady reaches. Maybe a Gregor Blanco. Got a little more freedom to do those kinds of things once you get into September. And if it's Blanco, he'd probably do that anyway since he can play left. Yeah. Ball 4. Well, we'll find out. Nady's been on all 4 times. And here comes Gregor Blanco to run.
19 out of 22 on the season in stolen base attempts for Blanco. As you said, Len, this is an easy move for Bruce Bochy. He brings Blanco in for defense anyway when Xavier Nady starts in the outfield. So improve the speed on the bases. Plus, you've got your better defender in the ballgame.
Sure, in San Francisco, just like here in Chicago when Henry Blanco was here, they have the Greg White fan club. There's the Hank White fan club here. Belt certainly has made an impression on this game, and he only came in the 6th. He tripled home Nady and then scored on a wild pitch to tie it. Slider for a strike. Marmol made 10 appearances in August. He gave up 1 earned run. His ERA has gone down every month this season. Struggled in April and May. Some DL time. He's been really good the last few months.
Blanco's getting back easily over there at first base, but his first movement was ever so slightly out onto that front foot before turning and diving back into the bag at first. I think he wants to run in a bad way right now.
There he goes. And it's bounced foul.
It's one of those stolen base attempts. Len, a right-handed hitter probably takes that pitch to give Blanco an opportunity to steal his way into scoring position. Had a big jump over there at first base, but Belt, being a left-handed hitter, couldn't really see the kind of jump that Blanco got at first base, and he swings at a borderline pitch and fouls it off to the right side.
It's Roberto Kelly, the first base coach. Blanco not running. Called strike 3. Fastball outside corner at 96.
Couple of breaking balls on the inside part, and then a 96-mile-per-hour heater. Close enough to that outside corner to get the call from Dale Scott behind home plate.
Crawford will get his first at bat. Yesterday, a close play at first. We had a double box of Tim Flannery with a runner at second. Way out of the box toward the hitter. I mean, probably 60 feet from home plate. Well, with a runner at first, he's trying to get a good line on that runner almost behind Carlos Marmol. Well, they pitch out, and that ball almost got back over the plate. It was almost a strike.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Fortunately, the runner not going at first base kind of defeats the purpose of a pitch out when a catcher's got to make that kind of adjustment just to receive the ball.
It's right behind Alfonso Soriano. Blanco's saying, man, I just came into the game. I had a nice clean uniform. It's been dirty since the second he got out there. He's had to dive back about 7 or 8 times.
Well, for those potential base stealers, repeated throws to first base, there's a saying, take the spring out of his legs. And number one, he's not going to be quite as anxious to take off on first movement if he knows you're going to throw over there repeatedly. And number two, after diving back to the bag a number of times, maybe you shorten up your lead a little bit. He's getting back in relatively easy. There's only been one of those attempts that was really close. He could probably actually get a little bit more of a lead over there at first base.
Blanco runs. That ball actually hit the foot of the home plate umpire, and he doesn't. Oh boy, a big break for the Cubs. That ball ended up right along the fence line in front of the Giants dugout. They were yelling at Blanco to go to third, and he had no idea where it was. That hit Dale Scott's foot. Well, he should be at third base.
Yep.
Big break for the Cubs.
Caught Dale Scott on that right shin guard. Clevenger had set up on the outside corner, had to reach all the way back across the plate. You can see the Giants bench exhorting Blanco to move up to third base, but he didn't know where the ball was.
But he could be at third. Instead, he's at second after the steal. And a 2-0 to Crawford. Now 3-0. Pagan on deck. Slider strike. Outside, he's walked 2 in the inning. And here's Pagan, who's 1 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout against Marmol.
And normally you would expect Pagan to look for a pitch to drive and try to get that go-ahead run across the plate, but with Valbuena playing that deep at third base, wouldn't surprise me to see him try to bunt for a base hit just to keep the line moving here for the Giants. Valbuena playing very deep and well off the line at third base.
And in case you're wondering, Blanco is 1 for 2 in stolen base attempts of third, and that's what Pagan tried to do, as you mentioned, with Valbuena playing back. Well, he'll play in this time. You can bet on that.
Any base hit to the outfield, you know Tim Flannery is going to be waving the runner at second base around the corner and on home. Very important to Cubs outfielders be aggressive, charging the ball, get rid of it as quickly as possible. Like a backdoor slider. Dale Scott's been generous on that outside corner all afternoon, and is so once again.
Here's pitch number 17 of the inning. Blown away. Marmol has a sign from Clevenger. The 2-2 pitch. Base hit center field. Blanco is going to be sent by Tim Flannery. And the throw is a little offline. Giants lead. Blanco was watching the ball at first. I'll tell you, Brett Jackson had that ball pretty early. And Tim Flannery with an aggressive send, and it worked out for the Giants.
Yeah, we figured he was going to send him on just about anything. A hard one-hopper right at Brett Jackson. Unfortunately, the 2-hop throw really tails to the third base side of home plate.
Is there supposed to be a cutoff man in that area, Bob, or not? It looked like he got right through a seam of several infielders.
Well, once again, the plays at the plate, Anthony Rizzo is the cutoff man on that play coming across from first base, but because the ball was hit so hard, he didn't really have a chance to get into a good cut position that particular time.
So well placed by Pagan to give his team the lead. Another base hit. Crawford to the plate again, and this time it is cut off by Rizzo. 7-5. So the table setters becoming the run producers here in the ninth. Pagan and Scutaro.
Well, Pagan at this stage of his career gives you a real professional at bat every time up, and we talked about Marco Scutaro. What a great addition he has been for the Giants. Just an inside-out swing on a slider. Guides it back up the middle of the field once again to Brett Jackson. His throw is low. No chance for Crawford at home plate.
Chris Bosio out there. It's already been a 20-pitch inning. There's still only one out. And Blake Parker is up in the Cubs bullpen. So Marmol's 2 walks in this inning have come around to score. Now Pagan at second, Scudero at first, and the pitch to Sandoval. Low, ball 1. Right now, it looks like Casilla will get the ninth after getting the final 2 outs of the 8th. Meantime, at the AA Southern League, Michael Brenly just threw out Billy Hamilton.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been somewhat of a disappointing season for Junior, but that's a merit badge right there.
Do we know how many steals Hamilton currently has?
He's up over 150, I believe. He's had a real rough series against the Smokies offensively. I think that was his first hit. He's like 1 for 17 against the Smokies in this series.
Runners go as Sandoval fouls off. Well, Hamilton with the all-time record. And let's see. I got to do the math. 2 different leagues. 155 steals.
Ooh, man.
He's now been caught 37 times. Nice going, Michael.
Yeah, way to go. Smokies leading that one 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning in Pensacola. Next to the last game of the season.
Hit hard but foul. Speaking of the Cubs minor league report, Iowa had its final series at New Orleans canceled due to Hurricane Isaac, so the I-Cubs finished 53-87. Michael Brenly's teammate Justin Bohr named to the Southern League postseason all-star team, leading the league with 110 RBIs. Boise will host Yakima, the Northwest League Divisional Series starting tomorrow. Stephen Bruno won the batting title. High and deep to Jesus. On the edge of the warning track. For the second out, both runners tagging, and both are saved. Mesa finished its regular season 37-19. Got a wild card berth, but lost 15-3 on Thursday night to the A's, so their season is done. So we'll keep you posted this week on the Boise Hawks. Good luck to them. Ball 1 to Posey. First base open. Boy, you got to be really careful with this guy. He has just been lethal at the plate here in the second half.
And has not taken a bad swing in this series. You mentioned it earlier. He's gotten his share of base hits, but even his outs, he's barreled up the ball and either hit deep flies or hard grounders or line drives for outs.
Romo just starting to play catch. Three 3-0 with Pence on deck. As Marmol nears 30 pitches, he may not get a chance to face Pence. Blake Parker is ready in the bullpen. Three and one. jammed him, and he popped it up. Barney will make the catch. The Giants get the lead with 2 runs. It's 7-5 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Nothing. Couldn't hold that lead. The Cubs eventually grabbed a 5-3 advantage. Giants came back with 2 in the 6th. See if the Giants can close them out here. It's been an interesting homestand. Remember, the Cubs erased a Brewer lead in the 9th inning on Thursday as Blanco stays into play left. And Casilla, who has a chance for the win, will start the 9th against Brett Jackson. Just in case, left-hander Javier Lopez as Romo will sit down. This is a one advantage, Bob, to not naming a designated closer, is that Bruce Bochy can do whatever he wants. And usually when your closer's on the mound with a 2-run lead, you don't get anybody out.
No. Yeah, but because it is a very fluid situation for the Giants right now with Brian Wilson gone, you can play matchups.
Jackson out in the deep left. Caught up against the wall by Blanco. Sounded good, looked good off the bat as it comes up just short.
Well, it's a standard move for Bruce Bochy. We mentioned it. Not only Blanco pinch running for Nady, but bringing him in for defense with a lead late. Very timely switch that time. Blanco making the backpedaling catch right into the ivy.
Here's Barney with Brian LaHair now on deck as a pinch hitter. Called strike. Laced into right center as Pagan will cut it off. Barney will get that tying run to the plate. It's been a good day for him. 3 for 4.
Outstanding day, Len. You mentioned it. His first base hit, that little chopper back to the mound that Matt Cain whiffed on. You said maybe that'll be the one to get him going, and he has wrapped the ball twice after that for base hits. Line drives into the outfield.
LaHair announced, and with LaHair, De Jesus, Valbuena, and Rizzo. That's 4 consecutive lefties now due up. Bochy's going to go with his left-hander, Javier Lopez. 7-5 Giants in the 9th. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. The numbers for the left-hander Javier Lopez. We saw him yesterday. Scoreless 8. He gave up a hit though to Joe Mather. Mather's going to bat for LaHare, who was hitting for Marmol. 1 ball, no strikes. Mather representing the tying run with Barney at first and 1 out.
Lopez relies heavily on a sinker and a cutter. He'll also throw sliders to lefties, change-ups to righties.
Mather off the bench, hitting 205 for 25 with a homer and 2 RBIs. The pitch. Downstairs, 2-1.
Real low arm angle for Lopez. As a hitter, you kind of have to adjust your sights a little bit instead of looking above his throwing shoulder to try to find the ball. It's out to the side somewhere, very nearly a sidearm delivery, very low as he strides toward home plate.
On the ground, they're going to try to turn it. 6-4-3, Giants win. So Lopez comes on, gets the game-ending double play. Game-winning hit belongs to former Cub Angel Pagan. And the Giants take 2 of 3. Cubs finish the homestand at 4-6. A final score, Giants 7, Cubs 5.